When tragedy strikes, evil doesn't just break into the world, it breaks into us. Think about betrayal. Think about the parent who loses a child. Think about the moment violence rips away someone you love. It doesn't just leave scars on the outside, it plants seeds of bitterness, rage, despair. Evil feeds on those cracks. It whispers, "Give up, give in, strike back." But here's the truth we often don't want to admit. Evil cannot exist apart from good. It is not an equal opposite force. It is a parasite. It cannot create, it can only corrupt. Murder is parasitic on life. Lies are parasitic on truth. Injustice is parasitic on justice. You only recognize darkness because you know light. And this is why the Torah commands, choose life, so that you and your children may live. It is not just a poetic phrase. It is a reminder that every act of good pushes back against the parasite. The rabbis taught that the Yetzer Hara is not just a destructive drive. It is the same fire that can fuel creativity, passion, marriage, and work. But without discipline, without God's wisdom, that same fire burns everything down. The Talmud says God himself wrestled with whether to destroy the Yetzer Hara completely, but without it, the world would stop functioning. Christianity echoes this when Paul writes in Romans that creation is good, but enslaved by sin. It's not the existence of desire that's evil, but when desire rules instead of being ruled. Now think about murder again. Judaism says one soul is an entire world. Destroy one, and you destroy generations unborn, futures untold. Christianity agrees. Life is sacred because it reflects God. To take it is to desecrate him. But what about when people celebrate evil? When the mob cheers cruelty? When the crowd applauds injustice? That is more terrifying than the act itself, because it reveals hearts that no longer see good at all. Isaiah warned, "Woe to those who call evil good and good evil." So what do? How do we stand in a world that cheers for darkness? First, we remember, evil only has meaning in the shadow of good. It cannot erase good. It can only mock it. We need only look around to see the truth. Since the dawn of humanity, good has been the trend. We have a nose for it. Children as young as 18 months old can distinguish right from wrong. Our brains are wired for it. It is in our nature. Second, we cling to hashgacha pratit, God's providence in the details. Even in chaos, he is still weaving. He is still sovereign. And this is not some passive, distant providence. Rabbi Akiva taught, "The Holy One, blessed be he, revealed his countenance in the world of pairs." This means God doesn't just watch over us from far away. He is among us. The Hebrew word for providence, hashgacha, comes from the root G-E-Esh-Ach, which means to guard, to watch over, to keep safe. God is actively involved in our lives. Look at Joseph. After years of slavery, he interprets a dream for Potiphar, the Egyptian official, that warns of an impending famine. So while he sits in prison, he prepares for the future. He gathers food when everyone else thinks only Pharaoh can solve the crisis. Why? Because God hasn't finished with him yet. So we cling to God's providence. Even in tragedy, even in chaos, God is still on the throne. He is still working things out for our good. And that brings me to the third point. We choose. Evil is loud. It screams in the club as music blares. It yells at the bar as drinks are served. It shouts on social media as people cheer on cruelty. But good is steady. It hums in the background like a constant refrain. Every time you speak truth, every time you refuse to applaud cruelty, every time you act with compassion, you choke out the parasite. Evil is real. Tragedy is real. But they are not final. The question is not whether you will face evil. You will. The question is, when you do, will you feed it or starve it?